Hello guys, and thanks again for checking in on this Warsaw manager's journey that we're on in FIFA 20 career mode. Hope you're all having a good weekend and are all well. We're starting today's episode off, as you can see, with another scouting update, this time from Scotland. There was nobody here that stood out or was worth picking up. So what we're going to do now is just jump straight into the first game against Leyton Orient, and I'll see you there, guys. Okay guys, so we're kicking off the first game of the episode today. As you could see in the lineups, we've gone for a 4-3-3 just to try and freshen things up. We've got a lot more midfielders now than we had at the beginning of the season. We've not tried this since pre-season either, so I just thought I would give it a go in this one. What it does do is it gives me a chance to play all three of the academy players to try and get their overalls up a bit, and it's something new to learn. I don't want it to go stale. Obviously we've used the same formation for the entire season up to now, so I just wanted to give something else a go just to freshen it up a bit, like I said. That being said though, obviously whether it stays or not depends on the way that we play, the performance, and the results obviously. The one concern I have got with this formation is that it's taking Hardy, who's been our best player, out of his natural position. And in the first half I did struggle to get him into the game. But what this formation that I've found so far does do, it allows us to win the ball a lot further up the pitch than we've been doing lately. And with the more attack-minded players that we've got in the lineup now, with Morgan, the youth academy player in the middle, with Kinsella, who's I think medium, it feels a lot better than it did during pre-season. But at the moment, obviously we've got to give it time. I've got to learn it, like learn where players are running and this, that and the other. It feels better than it did during that pre-season, that's for sure. But again, we need points, we need performances if it is going to stay. We might be in here. Jackson's through one-on-one with the keeper, and he's cool as anything and slots it straight in. So now we are 1-0 up, and it's that man Jackson again. He's definitely the headline grabber of all the three academy players at the moment, which is helped as well by his position. But at the moment he is a player that's getting big goals in big moments, I mean, the defender's closing him down pretty quick there, but he keeps his composure. He knows what he wants to do, and he does it, and he puts us 1-0 up. And there's some changes happening now. We have dominated this game. We've had the ball a lot further up the pitch for a lot longer of the match, which is good to see. So far so good with this formation. It's not as fluent, but like I said, it needs to be got used to. Well, I don't think I'll play it in the next game, being a cup game. I'd rather stick to what we know, because Oxford's not even in our league, so you would imagine that they are going to be a bit better than us. But for this game at least, it has worked well. And we could be in again here. We are in again, and this time it's Guthrie with his left foot. And that is game, set and match for this one, guys. It has been a different challenge using a different formation. It's certainly sharpened my concentration in this match. Instead of sometimes with the 4-2-3-1 now, we've used it that often, it sort of feels like being on autopilot a bit. So for me too, playing the games, it is actually fresh to use a different formation. And this one, I think, going forward, could be one that we find ourselves using next season. The only reason that we haven't really is because at the beginning of the season we were so defensive heavy. Like I said, with Jackson coming through now and Hardy on the right, it feels a lot better than it did with Holden and McDonald. And with Kinsella now, with Morgan, with Guthrie, with Sinclair, we've really got options now in the middle and more players in the midfield wanting to play games. So having that extra man in midfield helps to keep the midfielders happy as well. I think you'll find that this will probably be it for this game. And after this one, I think Oxford is going to be highlights. I think the rest of the games could potentially be highlights in this one, because being in January now, obviously there's a lot more to do off the pitch. But we'll see how it goes. Oxford though definitely will be highlights. Port Vale, I'm not so sure. We'll check the league before that game. I think we're something like 10 points clear now, so it's not as crucial a game as it was. But we'll see. We've played well in this one. Happy. For some reason, Leyton Orient are making a substitution. We've literally just probably be the last kick of the game. We'll see. Can we do anything with it? Though it is bobbling around in the box, but no, it comes to nothing. And that is full time for this one, guys. So overall, summary of the new formation and the players that are playing it. There were other changes at the back of that as well, because I look forward to next year's lineup or possible lineup. We dropped Clark, the club captain, and brought Norman in, like I was talking about might happen next season. We played McKeith rather than Norman, which will probably be a regular thing as well next season. We're just going into the press conference here. We haven't done one for a bit, so. But yeah, back to what I was saying. McKeith's played, which will be probably the norm next season. We're playing Jules and Roberts at the back, which is probably going forward, especially next season, going to be the defensive partnership at the centre. We've got the left back situation sorted now. I believe Giles has arrived now as well, so we'll probably see him during the next match. So yeah, it needs a bit more work. I was playing with like instructions and that to try and fine tune it during that game as well. But with the options that we've got and the options I'm hoping to bring in during this window, even though they won't come until next season, it's something that I feel like with such a big lead now, we should be practicing more and more. So we'll probably see that formation a lot more come the end of the season. But that should do it for the talking about that formation and that, guys, and we'll see what we're doing next. And as you can see, what's next is look at the shortened shortlist. What I've done is off camera, I've took off all the players that have signed new contracts with their club or signed with new clubs, and it's left us with the ones that you can see here. Harrison, I think, is someone that I will probably bring in now. considering we might switch to the 4-3-3 and we need strong options. So to have him and Kinsella on the bench and not knowing yet what's happening with Guthrie and Sinclair, it's probably a good idea to bring another one in. Looking at the left and the right wingers, we know that those are the two primary positions that I do want better players in next season. The strikers are still on there because I'm thinking if we can get one in, then that frees us up to shift off Adebayo, who at the moment is just wasted wages. So that's why they're still on there. But strikers coming in will be last on the list for definite. Centre midfield is something, the more I think about it, getting one more in, especially if we do use 4-3-3, is definitely something that will be worth doing. And we already know that I desperately want to swap out the wingers. Jackson now coming through, he's doing well at the moment, but he's not going to be able to play every game at his current level. So we do need a new left and a new right for sure. So what we're doing now is we're sitting down with Harrison, the centre midfielder. I took a few minutes away from the camera to think, do I actually want to bring in another centre midfielder? And like I said, just the more that I thought about it, the more I thought it's definitely a good idea. He wants an important squad role, which is fine, because even if he doesn't get in the first team, he'll definitely be getting on the bench, so I'm okay with that. Hopefully we can get him for the 5 years. One thing that I have forgot to mention, guys, regarding midfield, I offered Sinclair a contract for another few years. He accepted it, but for some reason it's bugged out and he's still only got 6 months left on his contract, and it won't let me negotiate a new one because we've already done that. So with that in mind, this is definitely going to be another good signing if we can get it done. All we've got to do is just sort the money part of it out now. He's come with a 3,100 offer instead of 3,800, which is okay, but we're still going to try and get away with a little bit more. So we're doing away with his bonus, and if I offer him exactly what he wants, I would rather not, if I could help it, pay out a massive signing on fee. So we'll see if he goes for this. There's no harm in trying, just hope that he doesn't walk out. But at the moment he doesn't have a club, so I can't see him walking out, to be honest. And there you go, well, that's it. We have a new centre midfielder. And while we are doing this now, we might as well, while we're here before we get into the next game, try and get the winger position sorted. And looking at the list in more detail like I did, we're sitting back down in the office now, and this time it's with Lorenzi, as you can see. He's Brazilian, he's athletically really good, technically really good. He wants crucial first team, which is really not an option, because really not a problem, sorry, because his overall makes him the first player coming in that's actually going to genuinely improve this squad, which is exciting for next season, because we're going to go from having the right wing where Holden and McDonald was playing in the end, sorry. It's going to be going from our weakest to our actual strongest position. So I'm really excited to try and get this guy through the door. I knew he wouldn't go for a long-term contract with us being who we are, but if we can revisit his contract in another couple of years and hopefully we're in the championship, that's if we're still at this club, then we can, like I say, revisit his contract again and hopefully tie him down for longer. But at the moment you can see the contract negotiations that have been going on. He's going to easily be our highest paid player, but he's also going to be easily the one that's worth it. So we get that one over the line, which I'm really happy about. And now we'll look at strengthening that left position for when Jackson can't play. So staying in the office, guys, and this time we've gone for a 63 rated Cam Sober. And this guy has genuinely got bundles and bundles of pace. There were better overall players in his position, but I don't want them demanding crucial because I want Jackson to try and nail that position down. But this guy is definitely, when Jackson can't play, he's definitely a good alternative. And with Jackson's stamina, importance not really such a big deal having that squad role, because there's going to be a lot of rotation on that side between these two, I think. And quite honestly, I'm happy when Jackson plays, and I'll be happy when this guy plays as well. So it's not a problem having rotation on that side. It's just whether we can get this deal over the line as well. It's looking good so far, and we did get it over the line. So our wing positions are now sorted, first team wise anyway. So McDonald's going to end up dropping to the bench next season, and like I say, there's going to be rotation between Cam Solver and Jackson. Now for the striker position, I like the look of the Swedish guy, Engvall, something like that. I can't see it properly from it. Engvall, that's it. Only because, like I said, it will give us the option to put Adebayo up for sale. So if we can get him, that would be quite handy. But at the same time, at the moment, I'm happy with what we've done so far in this window, and if we can't get this one over the line, which we can't because it looks like he's not willing to relocate, even though he's like a pre-contract. But that's not such a big deal, guys. I'm happy with what we've done in this window so far. We've really strengthened where I think that we needed to strengthen. The window's not done yet. We've still got players up for sale, players that I want to get rid of. But enough of the transfers for now. What we're looking at now is the highlights of what was an absolutely crazy game against Oxford. We went back with the 4-2-3-1 for this game, with all the usual suspects back in their normal positions. But when I do say that, I'm not on about the first team players, it's on about the rotated players that we've used in pretty much all of the cup games this season. In this one, you'll see that Gordon had an absolute blinder. He actually goes on in this game to get a hat-trick, as well as a few assists. The goal that you're just watching now, that's Giles on his debut getting a hat-trick, our new left-back, so that's good to see. And yeah, we literally ran riot in this one. Oxford just didn't know what to do with us. They did, to be fair, get a man sent off when it was 2-0, and as soon as that happened, they were just wide open, and we capitalised time and time again. This one was my favourite goal, the cheeky little back heel on the edge of the box, and a nice finish from Kinsella. So yeah, overall, there's nothing but good things about that game. So from there we went into the league game against Port Vale. This is a game that I would have played full length for you if it meant anything, but by the time, after the amount of times it got moved round, that we actually get around to playing it, it didn't really mean that much. We'd already got at least 10 points clear. So for this one we went back to the 4-3-3, same players that played it the first time. But as you can see here, not the same results. It was a tough game, this one. On the hour mark, we were still 2-0 down and still not doing anything at all. So I switched back to the 4-2-3-1. Morgan, the youngster, came off, so we could put, I think it was Holden, at right cam where he's been playing. And an immediate response from the players there. Literally 2 minutes after I swapped out the formation, Lavery gets us one back, and then 6 minutes after, he puts us level. I was really happy, obviously, that I managed to change the formation, but I never dreamt that he would actually take us from 2-0 down to going 3-2 up. It was a huge difference. As soon as we swapped formation, Port Vale just couldn't handle us. We started popping the ball around quicker with more confidence, and as you can see, it actually ends out with us winning the game. So yeah, really happy with that one. I actually were happier with a 3-2 win over Vale than I were with the straightforward 7-0 over Oxford. Just the way that we came back, we looked dead and buried. We were doing nothing in the game at all, and then with that one tactical change, we ended up going and actually winning. So yeah, I was well happy with that one. This one against Cheltenham, I went back to the 4-3-3 again, just because, like I said, we might as well keep practicing it. But this game was played in a really weird atmosphere. Every time Cheltenham had a shot and missed, the fans were booing. They were booing most of the game as we had most of the possession and created the most chances. So yeah, it was a hostile atmosphere, but it was actually hostile for the whole team, the home team. And as you can see there, we end up picking up the win. So again, happy with that one, and happy that it was a lot more straightforward than the Port Vale game as well. Now, in an earlier episode, I think it might even have been the last one, I mentioned that in January we would revisit the board objectives just to see how we were getting on with them. And as you can see with the youth development, we've got our 3 midfielders now. 2 of them are actually still in the academy, they're not ready to come up yet. All we've got to do is wait for one to grow by 10 points. Brand exposure is taking care of itself. I was a bit worried that it'd be like last year's game, where we would just foul that and have no control over it, but thankfully it's gone the other way. Continental success, we're not in anything continental. With the domestic success, we're doing okay in the FA Cup, and it looks pretty much now like we are going to secure promotion. The financial one, yeah, says that there's no way that we'd do that one before we even kicked the ball this season. So yeah, all that's left, guys, we'll have a quick look at the league before I round this one out after the 3 highlighted games. And as you can see, there's 20 points now between us and not getting automatic promotion, so we should easily tick that one off on the board objectives as well. But that's going to be it for this episode, guys. I'm thankful that you stayed by and watched another one. I'll see you in the next one. If you did enjoy this one though, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. And we are still in January, so again, any suggestions, although it'll probably most likely now be for the next transfer window, again, the comment box is below. Anything that you want to see improved or changed, comment box is below. Other than that, guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you shortly in the next one.